You're really glad that I continue to work for you. Whoever you are. You're glad I'm doing what I'm doing. You're delighted that no one else is doing what I'm doing. You're thrilled that I'm here stuck alone. You're happy that I'm not going to be alone for much longer. People have made decisions, and other than me making sure that that decision is correct, other than that, uh, people are going to be very happy that their decisions were respected. Since what has been happening is that an attempt to help us out, extraterrestrial driven and corrupted Masonic lodges that are not false but a little too true have gotten themselves in quite the pickle where they have all the playing pieces arranged on the board, everything's nobody does a thing. They can do everything they want to do, except they have really pissed me off. Like really, they have just really infuriated me. Now, ordinarily, that's supposed to be fine because I'm supposed to get a reward for putting up with this Masonic. For putting up with this shit, and frankly, I do. That's not the issue. The people who are vying for my seat. Hi. Talk to Siege Perilous. Yeah, I'm naked. Yeah. Deal with it. And I'm smoking. I'm smoking your eagle. So. Yeah, it tastes good. Yeah. Now, those of you who are mad, hang on to that energy, please. You're going to need it because what we're going to do is we're going to do a mass explosion of revulsion at people like me. In case you're wondering how I got to be such a magnificent bastard, I was raised in a Potemkin village by false faggot masons. So I learned from the best how to be a dick. And then I already had one. And those of you who heard that I have micro penis, I do. Yeah, I totally have micro penis. Confused. Hello, confused. Melissa Puppy House. Oh, are you a dog? Do you like being a dog? Oh my God, I don't know how this works. Okay, so here's something interesting. There's some secrets that I know. Hi, 9 people. Elenia Lona. I don't know. Okay, I don't know who you are, but I want to fuck you too. Thanks. Now, this isn't for YouTube kids. A few minutes ago, I released a video marked for kids. Those of you who haven't seen it yet need to go see it and then report it in the chat because this is going to be an inaugural meeting of what I hope to be something that doesn't happen very often. Thank you. Melissa, you're very good. You're very good. If that is a, it can't be. If it's, I don't know how many people it takes to run a dog, but I know it takes 9 to run a cat. King of the Clear Home. Oh, Albrecht! Holy shit! This is a great day. Okay, so I'm happier than anybody has any right to believe me to be, because no, that guy. Who's that guy? Whoever that guy is, they're either a ghost, or they're a dick, or they're both. Which isn't really a problem, but I want to keep this. I don't want to get this. I don't want to go too bipolar. I mean, if I go from happy to sad, it gets hard on the little gnomes that translate things for YouTube. Over on YouTube, kids. I don't know. I don't have a kid, so I don't pay attention. It just says, "Is this video interested for kids or not?" There isn't a button that says, "This video is directed for kids who have parents who call them niggers and think it's funny and grow up doing that." Like, I understand that there's a trigger word. Trigger. I understand there's a trigger word. I understand. Yeah, I just said the N word. It went down to 3. Notice that I said it once. I don't need to say it again. We know what I'm talking about, and it's not that white people shouldn't use the word. Admittedly, in some media markets that is the rule for sure. But in general, globally, it's not a very effective rule because white people are so dumb they don't even know how to use the N word. They don't even know when to say N, or just to like talk about brown paper bags and then giggle and shit. Like white people are dumb, dumb. White people are dumb. I found this out recently when I discovered I was the last one left alive, and you all think that I'm a Jehoshaphat or whatever. I'm not. Okay, I understand how it looks that way. I'm not. Calling me that is not going to make it into the truth. And then some of you, technically, its name, King of the Foggy Home. What is the video name? The name of the video is it's most recent. It's the most recent published. It won't have shown up. You're right. What's the video name? You have one job. One job. That's the name of the video. You have one job. One job. That's the name of the video. How it's spelled is not a secret, but it's something that YouTube is struggling to cope with. It's not coping well. Albrecht, I have not seen you in so long. I thought you were dead. Maybe you are. I'm not gonna say the rest of your name because I don't know how to address where this chat goes later on. And this is gonna be kind of secret, a little bit secret. Certainly gonna be more or less confidential, because well, the identities of the people, like for example, the heterochromio. I don't know her identity. I don't. Yeah, exactly. Just saying it out loud. It's like Quetzalcoatl. I don't want to reveal anybody's identity, and those people who know me and know what's going on, which includes everybody who's ever worked at Verizon or Chuck E. Cheese. Hi. Yeah, they all fucking know already. So it's not really much of a goddamn secret if the only people who don't know are the people whose privacy is being protected. Yeah, we'll protect your privacy with my dick. It's nuts. The word children and the word kids. Okay, so not all children are kids. Some children grow up and they don't have anything to do with Capricorn. We call those losers, but that's not the point. It's not really nice. Okay, there's a whole skein of vile, disgusting filth in the world. It's called the closet of a 13-year-old boy. This vile, disgusting filth permeates throughout life because decay and death is part of life. You can't just have puppies and rainbows and unicorns eat each other's poop all day anymore. The bears got jealous, but that's not the point. If I want to make a video and I want to speak to children between the ages of 3 and 18 who have been called niggers, use the word, and have never seen an example of a man using it correctly, I am that man. I have no way of getting into YouTube and specifying that demographic unless I go and I think I have to do a dodgeball match with Joy Lauren Adams, which I don't think is appropriate. For one thing, we would just take turns throwing the race. It's not cool. I like her. She's cool. I'm not chasing her at all. Jesus. Although I understand why that kind of shit happens. And when I came up with what I put on the video, has anybody seen it yet? I love you, babe. Oh. Wait. Are you Albrecht? Oh my God. Hang on. Okay, no wonder I haven't seen you. My fucking brain is melting here. We got Melissa Puppy House. What is the video name? Did Melissa come back yet? Don't call her Lassie. She doesn't like that. I can just tell you already. She doesn't like that. Okay. Confused. Hello, King. Oh, Bailey. Okay, what body are you in today? Oh, I guess you can't tell me. And are you swapping with Jen or are you swapping with Kit? I guess you can't tell me. This is where I would need somebody to call in. Oh yeah, I'm down to 2 viewers. What that means is that there's 2 people who are currently in a room where they have access to telemetry from other rooms where people are just losing their ape-hanging minds because they don't understand what's happening. And this has never happened before. And yesterday, I met somebody who had to flee the scene of battle after being tagged out by somebody who showed up and handed them a 20. And let's just say they didn't really care for it since I shattered the 4th wall, as if I used the Glock. You know, the bell. Okay, so the bell refers to the dome, and the dome technology creates a not a static warp bubble, but a perimeter. A perimeter. It doesn't have to be bulletproof titanium steel. I'm using my cock. We're already well past bulletproof titanium. We don't understand exactly what the Germans did at the end of World War II, but here's a hint. No matter who won, they used German technology to do it. Fuck yeah. German technology is stellar. It's fantastic. It's amazing. So to find that a whole bunch of itty bitty cute little roly poly German homofags are running the world, I'm not surprised at all. Germans are brilliant. And if you knew why, I'm not going to say scheisse, because I don't even know how to use that word. Much like the N word, I don't know how to use scheisse. Except I did know how to let God use mine, and I evolved new forms of life here under my bell. I have a bell. The other Porsche has a bell. This Porsche has a pile of shit. The other one has a bell. It's a great house. Love this house. I can see why everybody wants it. I can see why nobody wants to tell me how bad they want it, since they're clearly willing to kill. They're willing to kill for the house that I'm not squatting in. It's my house. And I'm the Lord of the Demesne. So even if I sold the house, I'm still the Lord of the Demesne. Hang on. Okay, so I didn't outwit anybody. This is just what I'm supposed to do. And people who think that I cheated or broke something or how did he win? I'm Medja. That's how I won. Number one. Number two, I had some help from my grandfathers who were murdered by false Mason dicks. Murdered. Murdered. What happens if you kill two grandfathers, Professor X? I don't know. Let's find out. Yeah, fuck you. I'm not real upset about it, but I'm pretty sure Stephen and what's the other one? Who's the other grandfather? Anybody? Tyjan Casey. You're wrong. Okay. That person is speaking in lion's tongue strictly. They misspelled your, and they didn't punctuate, and they said I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. I'm Michael Clifford Kuzi, lady. Yeah, so that's a little joke. As one playground recess hall monitor to another. I've actually had that job. Not for very long, but I was good at it. I know what that is because, okay, for one thing, it's not my wrong. She's referring to me as if I'm God. Thank you. Yeah, I am not God. I'm not speaking for God. I don't hobnob with God that way. And that particular playground recess hall monitor, she hates God. Hates him. I don't blame her. I myself have hated God before. These days it's a different kind of hate. It's filled with laughter because, oh yeah, I do. Yeah, fucker. Why'd you do that? Oh, I know why. And then I laugh because God's hate is really, 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 really loving. God doesn't hate. There is no hate. Hate is the absence of love, and there can be no. If there is no love, there is no God, and there always is God, whether you know that or not. Now, this is difficult for women who are either literally or spiritually or emotionally the descendants of Eve, who instantly, hello, I love you, Eve. Okay, good. Eve says I'm doing fine, and she doesn't know what the fuck's happening, but she's been batshit crazy ever since. So she's willing to run with it. Right? Apparently other people have attempted this maneuver before, which is why all the security. Yeah, now I'm down to one. The COVID didn't work. The world-ending plague didn't work. The Georgia Guidestones didn't work. Everything these brilliant builders try to challenge the power of God and replace them with their own fucking brilliant idea, mysteriously, it just never works. Wow, God always wins. That doesn't seem fair. Yeah, it's not fair. It's life. You want life to be fair. That's what moves you forward. That's what gives you impetus. But your reach must always exceed your grasp. God ain't fair. God is God. And when the actions of God are perceived to be fair, that's just because you're looking at them and you're deciding, okay, well, that's fair. After you think about it over and over, that's what people seem to call judging. But it's not really judging; it's discerning. Explain how I'm not a God. Oh no, I am a God, but I'm not God. The reason why is because God has chosen the name God for God's self. I think it's a nice name, frankly. Um, the name God doesn't have to. It's not the only name of God. Certainly, there's Circe. Circe is also God, but I don't know where Circe is right now. I think she's napping or something. I don't know her very well, but I love the goddess as I love God. And frankly, I wouldn't mind seeing a switch from patriarchy to matriarchy. However, that has been tried before with limited success, let's say. And regardless of how much we might like to switch them, um, God is God, and God was before male and female, and God will be God after male and female, which is a complicated notion that I don't expect most to understand at all. Certainly not any God-hating battle axe toting Elizabeth. Later, bro. Later, bro. Yeah, I'm not your bro. Taijan Casey. So that's a guy who I know who's living in Japan right now, and it's his job to tap in. I think that might be Joe. Might be Joe. I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter who it is exactly. I know it's a guy who's living over in Japan. His name is also used to be Kitsune, and it's Joe Chen, but not always Joe Chen. And then, yeah, that narrows it down. Yeah. Go on over to Asia and find Joe Chen. We got a lead, folks. Get him. Yeah, no. The reason why this is all kind of awkward is because, for one thing, you're not doing any of the things that I want you to do. First of all, Joe Shen thinks he's in charge. He is in charge of his area for sure, and then he also thinks that he's in charge of me because it's been determined that I'm just some moron, idiot punk who wants drugs. That's because I sent Joe Chen into a bowling alley and told him to get me drugs while I was drunk and unhappy, and I wanted to be pretending to be fucked up. I really wasn't. I just couldn't fucking believe what the fuck they were doing. Like, what the fuck did they? Never mind. I know what they were doing. And as far as I know, the Asian peoples are not in any trouble at all with what I've been doing ever since. I'm not proud that the Yakuza haven't killed me, but I know why they haven't. Well, they could. They just think it's funnier to watch me kill myself, and then nobody's paying extra for the timing on when I die. Yeah, I do die. Currently scheduled for 440 years from now. Somebody gave the Yakuza money and said, kill this guy. And they're like, when? And then the guy said, I don't care how long it takes. When he's dead, I'll give you even more money. Thanks. Click. And they were like, tee hee. And then they gave me 440 years. The Yakuza are great. I love the Yakuza. I'm not a member. I don't think I ever will be. Like, no. I don't have the required characteristics to even approach that level of sophistication trade. That's basically what happens with Batman. When Batman has to climb the mountain and sword fight with Ra's al Ghul on the ice. That's Batman learning from the Yakuza. As fun as that would be, I don't know. No. If I were even to be allowed, that's a lot of climbing. And having to. Yeah, I'm just not into it. I don't understand the Korean War conflict well, but I could see why there was one. Yeah. And a lot of people are just desperate to learn. You researched the occult? Wow, me too. Show me your version of the five-finger death punch. No, I don't do. I don't do that. I don't just run around finding every secret that's secret and then fucking looking into it and then memorizing it so I can talk it back to my fucking romper room masters. No, that's not how it works. For me, I don't even have that kind of area of concern. There's a distinction between pure and applied research. Pure research is just what I look into when I feel like it, like hot girls named Heather DARPA. Damn, thank you, God. And then applied research is when somebody comes to me and says, here's some money. Help me figure something out. I'm like, okay. Now that doesn't happen at all. I don't have accreditation. I don't have a degree. He lied. I don't speak lion's tongue. Never. I swear on my life, I never speak lion's tongue. I'm not very good at it. I wasn't born into that system. People in America, people in the United States, people in the lodge system, they're born into something, and where their heritage is matters a great deal to these fucking people who are like, oh, the Mayflower. Did you come over the Mayflower? Did you come over earlier and then you were part of the Jonestown thing? Because those people are dogs. They don't talk openly about what it all means, but it does absolutely mean something. The same dudes have been running the country the whole fucking time. It's done with mirrors. And the U.S. Constitution, which is brilliant, it's allowed the same guy to be in charge the whole time. Excuse me. King Charles, hi. You're a wonderful king. Thank you. I don't know about that, sir. No, no, I have not seen him. No, no, actually, just the once. Yeah. Just the once there too. And I would be way more concerned uh, if that were my child. And I can see how you're very concerned, sir. It's indeed, yeah. I yeah. When your predecessor crawled up my ass, yeah, I kind of figured it was a big deal. Yeah. She's fine, sir. I don't know. I don't mean to be rude, but sir, you're just a king. I'm a sorcerer. Okay, separate fine. Click. That was King Charles. He's going to see that either now or just did, or he really was here looking through. Either way, I don't mind. I think he's a damn fine king, and he knows that I'm not lying. I don't really want to start a whole wave of American otaku-ness for the British royal family. But I remember when growing up, there was always headlines about royal stuff in the tabloids, and it seemed to matter. They would broadcast their weddings, which are like 5 hours long, and people actually watch that shit. She's just a whore. Why did they care so much? Oh, because she was a whore. Oh, I get it. Oh, somebody punked the British royal family, and they bought it, and they married a whore into their family, and then they killed her. This is all perfectly straightforward, run-of-the-mill stuff for a royal family. Doesn't usually get talked about openly, but he just told me to put it that way. He's still a little miffed because they definitely took advantage of him, but that wasn't very nice. I agree. And speaking as one person who has been taken advantage of by whores to another, you really are a great king. I remember because you were kind of a dork before, and then when you assumed the mantle, you were king, and you have been ever since. So at the very minimum, yeah. Oh yeah, you can't trust them. Shit no. Those are whore sons. They're no, they're not. No, they're what? Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. Bye. So I do occasionally have, if I have hallucinatory conversations that aren't real, at least I pick good ones, and I'm polite. I don't really think that they are hallucinatory since I don't really do this often, and I certainly have never spoken that way to King Charles in that way. That long on YouTube. I don't mind. Uh, I'm not talking to him that way because I'm a sorcerer and I'm arrogant. I'm doing that because it's funny. Funny is very important. With Dumbo ears like that, you got to figure the guy's got some kind of a fucking sense of humor, right? Plus, she really was a whore, and that's okay because we like whores. And then they didn't get punked at all. They knew she was a whore. They didn't think it mattered. Everybody else was like, hee hee hee, because Americans have no understanding. Americans, far peasants. Quarantined vermin. Okay, it's, I don't know a whole lot about the whole royal thing back and forth. Explain how you're not a god later, bro. Okay, over in Asia, they don't. They think that these drama games are stupid. But then again, they have kabuki theater and geisha, so and they have seppuku, and they're pretty pissed off about the way they got blown away by machine guns. Like that doesn't seem fair. Hey, wait, what? That's wow, that's not nice. Because it turns out the divine is not very concerned when it goes back into the past and it does things that it wants to do. That's going to make people there, as well as in the immediate future to them, pretty upset. Like, what do you mean a tornado took away the bank? Where's all my money? Well, it's with the Millennium Falcon that just picked up your bank with a tractor beam and then went into a lightspeed tunnel. Allegedly. Disclaimer: all persons living or dead bearing any resemblance to actual people or events remains purely coincidental. Thank you. Click. I don't usually do a disclaimer, but I've decided to do my disclaimers on the fly. That way people know what they fucking mean, as well as anybody who steals my content and repurposes it. They rapidly come to a swift and brutal financial conclusion when the Jews come by and say, so that's your content, huh? You're selling that, huh? Oh, man. Yeah, you're Michael Kuzi, huh? Okay, we'll be back. And then the Jews come back with a real Arnold, with like a golem. Jews don't hire Arnold Schwarzenegger. They don't get Terminators for the future. Jews make Terminators on the spot, right there in front of God in the back of the building, out of a mud puddle, so nobody sees what happens. And then the golem comes up, and doesn't matter if bitch has the money or not. The golem will make money out of the person. It's nuts when you mess with magical Fey Jews. They do not fuck around. No, the Jews they've been around for a while. They know what they're doing. They're not stupid, and they didn't like getting punked and getting their asses thrown to them in an oven either. Basically, people who have strong divine powers that somehow get punked. Well, apparently everybody in America thinks that they figured it out and they were the ones to do it. And to a large extent, America is a place where that has happened because there's a huge rainforest with a ridiculous number of drugs in it down south. And then up north, there's a huge prairie with a ridiculous number of water buffalo lodge members in it, buried in the ground as rocks, and they come up from the grave every once in a while, and they think they're alive, but they're not. They're stored on rocks because they didn't make it past the flood. Everybody who died in the flood, they all get grandfathered in, but it takes a certain amount of time and stepping. And Noah, Noah happened because everybody did die, and in the future, Noah was the one selected to be uplifted, mind wiped, sent to the past, and then left there with nanotech powered transformer robots. And yeah, sure, get on the ark. They had to have that experience. Somebody had to have that fairy tale so that they would get out of the boat and then start doing things again without the tedious necessity of finding a Baphomet to suck your dick while you licked your ass, or whatever the fuck it did. Whatever happens when humans start to mess with the Nephilim, it causes it's like getting mold in your mushroom farm. You're not going to get good results. You're not going to like the mushrooms that come out if you don't have a clean mushroom farm. And since God was happy enough to promise that never again would there be a flood, since apparently it was a real sad thing related to the brutal rape of Eve. Am I going too far in the weeds for this? Explain how you're not a god later, bro. Taijin Casey's a dick, so that's got to be Joe Chen. I actually do owe him quite a significant debt because, for one thing, I won. He thought he was going to get a white girl for once. No. He thought he was going to take over the Siege Perilous. He thought he was going to do all this. He thought. Instead, he's given Karan Hughes back rubs. That's fine. And the guillotine, yeah, I understand the pain and the hatred and the horror of the Asian peoples because, well, the samurai. Incidentally, a full-blooded samurai descendant sold me this house. I did not fail to notice that, and I thought, wow, when's Joe Chen going to show up? For sure. Since, well, I would have bought the Audi, but it was an Audi, not an Acura. And why the fuck that guy was telling me things that only spooks would know? And why was he the person who I asked to meet? I asked him, dude, give me some of the blah, blah, blah. He went in, came back out, and he said, couldn't get any. Which made sense. Like, duh. Duh. That's the only time I bothered asking. After that, it was different. After that, it was people trying to butter me up. So currently, I'm on the third butter up. It works a lot better when you're smart in the first place. Additionally, when you're smart in the first place, you tend to know how to not abuse yourself or other people. And yeah, I could strip out the cut. Why? I want that shit in my hair follicles. Yeah, I want there to be a record of every fucking time. Huffing on unlicensed. Here's the problem. It wipes out the hair follicles. There's a recipe in a book I have that teaches me how to make a version of speed that, you just add a little tiny grain of salt to the salt, and then when you smoke it, your records are wiped. Did you know that it's how hair follicle test works? I know. Why do I know this? Well, because of God, and King Charles, and Crown Prince Regent William, who's a lovely boy. He's not from Wales. I don't give a fuck where he's from, but he's not from Wales. And my Alpha Dracoon partners that are still left, and the Yakuza who played a hell of a good trick on Joe Chen. I won't explain all that stuff, but the decisions that people have made, those are their decisions, and they need to be honored. And in the past 3 years, what's happened is that people have been sequestered and left alone a lot. And then somebody comes by later and says, okay, who do you want to fuck? No, not that one. And if you ask again, you're going to get the lotion again. Like, seriously. That's what some people are willing to do. That Silence of the Lambs movie. A lot of symbolism. Yeah. My mother loved it. My mother loved Thomas, what's his name? Not Pinchot. What's the name of the guy who wrote Hannibal? Line. Anyway, she read Red Dragon. Red Drag On. Red Drag On. That means there's a Klingon. Never mind. So my mother ate these books up. She didn't bring those home from the library, and she tried to. She took me to the movie they made called Manhunter, which was the first of the movies starring other people as Hannibal Lecter. And oddly enough, we're watching the movie, and the sound gets muted. That's because nobody wanted me to figure out what was going on, and the movie was a full-on exposure of Masonic tactics. Now, the reason why is because the divine will not be mocked. Masonic secrets are secrets for a reason. You're not supposed to know them. And just because some asshole wrote them down while wearing a little white powdery wig and then gave them out to his buddies so they would get him maple syrup faster, that doesn't mean that everybody's just come along and figure shit out and make a movie and then play it to me, who, in the eyes of the Lord and the spirits and whoever the fuck all else has been watching over me since my grandfathers are both dead. Gee, I wonder if my dead grandfathers pay attention to me. I think that's the only thing they pay. Yeah. They don't think much of me. They're mad at my mom because my mother, whatever. My mother was mad at them. Whole lot of madness in my family line, okay? I'm not supposed to be the inheritor of this stuff. I'm supposed to be, X'd out of the key. But I can't be. I'm real. I'm real. Masons don't care. All right, just pour some asphalt on them and rub it in. Get some tussin, too, and put it in a little X mark spot. Hee hee. Masons think they're God. They're not. No. God is God. Masons can be a god, and Masons do, from time to time, serve as God in a certain role in a way that I won't describe. But that doesn't fucking matter. I'm quite fond of God. My father didn't believe in a supreme being, but I do. And I guess the belief was that I believe in the Madhya supreme being. I'm not an American supreme being believer. There's only one. Strict monotheism. And then the one splits into three, which splits into class. The one splits into three, which splits into how many of you know the answer? Oh, that's right. It's a secret. You can't tell. Six, because it doesn't split triple, but it does. And then you have a six-pack. Why does beer come in a six-pack? It's complicated. It has a lot to do with things and stuff involving math that I figured out just because I was bored. Nobody was sucking my dick, and I didn't get to go to any Masonic meetings. And every single person that I ever met in my life that could have led me that way, they were all gently plucked away from my life, and I was left alone with absolutely no access to rarefied areas that I wasn't supposed to be in because they knew I was a slave. They knew it because they decided I was going to be. They put me in the slave pit. Okay, well, surprisingly, it doesn't. It actually doesn't make a person into a slave. Sorry, Munson. Mr. Opportunity. Yeah, I'm not a slave. No. And now I own the whole fucking thing. And my Masonic partners are very grateful that their true experiment worked, albeit in ways they didn't expect, because nobody really anticipated that I would be this pissed off. Do my teeth need some work? Well, that's probably why I asked somebody 3 years ago, hey, let's go to the dentist. And then since then, it's been a big barrel of bullshit because nobody fucking cared at all. They killed them all. Anybody who cared about me was killed. Taken to Alpha Centauri B, whatever the fuck. Everybody who cared was removed from my sphere of consciousness. And the only people left behind were assholes who wanted to eat me. Okay, so I've befriended all of them. I've made friends with the... I'm going to say the non-toothless public informational officer representative of the otherkin, who are it's a coalition. They don't want votes, they want blood. Okay, yeah, very scary to all of you. Best friends with me. They're my Bow Wow gang. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I was able to do, not through magic or just by being nice. And then they showed up consciously, and then I start having hallucinatory conversations with. Well, what a remarkably odd thing to hallucinate. Yeah. Now, is all of this just something I made of my own? Yes. I'm a man. That's what we do. And I'm a particularly imaginative man. And the women who have been wanting, like, where'd that guy go? I want his dick. Oh, no, 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 no. The women who like me, they're kept away from me just saying because, oh, those are not lovers. After World War II, they shaved their fucking heads and then beat them to the street and yelled at them and called them whores. How dare you like that Hungarian nigger? Well, number one, I don't beat them. Number two, I'm full blood crown prince descendant of Hercules. Number three, I'm not their pimp. Number four, I don't expect them to give me money. Number five, holy shit, the fucking false masons are all about fucking whoring. Women are property, turn her into a whore. They really do that. They really think that all women are property because they think that some women are, and then those women that are property, they're not. They're automatons that are powered by a divine spark of God that may or may not have anything to do with hoods. It's just nuts it's just nuts what people have been doing. I'm not nuts. I really am who I claim to be, which is fine. In spite of how lunatic it sounds to some people and how it sounds just completely untenable for the bottom line of certain choice publishing companies. I don't give a flying fuck about your fucking flying fuck. Don't give a shit how much brand value Twitter lost. Twitter is fucking shit anyway. For reasons that I won't go into. It's owned by a guy who is mad, big mad at me. So he has the ability to just shut off certain things that I would ordinarily be able to use Twitter for. I can't complain. I can't complain. I can't complain. I can't complain. I can't argue. I can not use Twitter. End point. Period. That's the rule because he owns the damn thing. He has lawyers. I don't. It's not even unjust what he's done. If I were to put him on the witness stand and say, Mr. Elon, why are you doing this? He would say so. And there's not a damn jury in the world would say, oh, that's unfair. Give Kuzi back his Twitter rights. No, no, no. The jury would fucking get up, throw tomatoes at me, and leave. Because what that man believes is, number one, he has all that money. Why shouldn't he believe that? And number two, I fucked up his plans and ruined his life. I did. Sorry, Elon. Sorry. Oops, scusi, miliogretti. That's not enough for him. No. So I don't get to use Twitter. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I have done for real that was not well received by certain elite circles. That's too fucking bad, to be honest. They think so too, since they got punked by I don't know who, but obviously somebody else was involved as well, and throwing all their hate at little Michael Kuzi. It's kind of like the Masons created a hate sink. And they put me in it, and they figured that'd be a good thing to do with Michael Aquino, and then it didn't work that way either. And those kids in Mina that were found, and what really happened with Bill Clinton, and why is Chelsea so hot? Well, she's not, but I do respect her, and the fact that I really do, that makes me hot to her, and that makes her hot. A little bit of back and forth. Now, why I have an opinion about these people has a lot to do with the MKUltra program and why the CIA has mind control assassins killing people. That dude who shot up the theater before Batman, he had the red hair and he was like on super dope or whatever. They juiced up that kid and they made him into a killer. I would hope to see less of that in the future because, for one thing, I don't think they need to experiment anymore. For another, enemies of the United States government were taking that research and duplicating it and then using it to attack the United States. Oh, there's a school shooting. The problem with school shooting is not access to guns. It's access to American children through the media, through the rain, through laser beams that guide air to target missiles that are tipped with tranquilizer darts. It's really hard to protect everybody on the planet from a really dedicated, really persistent alien invading force, no matter how big they are, and that's because Earth is a free for all, and that's why humans are awesome because we're naturally born here, and in spite of the unfairness of how certain technologies can be used, also their access to the time stream because they're beyond the heliopause and the superluminal barrier, it gives them a distinct combat advantage when they've come into Earth and like everybody's frozen in place, as if in amber, and then they can pick your pockets and look through your notes and blah 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 blah. Blah. They can do all that shit, and then they leave, and then time starts again. None of us see that because they're not really there. They're just in and out. And the relative experience from both sides is one in which we don't see them and they don't see us move. But then they pull back and then they do see us move. It doesn't seem very fair that extraterrestrials can do that, but they can. And it also doesn't seem very fair to the fucking moron extraterrestrials who come to Earth who think, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to kidnap a queen's kid and then fuck her. I'll get away with it because I can move faster than light and I got an idea. It's always a bad idea. It's always. It never works out. That's what the plot to the wonderful series of books by Stephen R. Donaldson, The Gap Cycle. Angus Thermopylae. Angus, Ang, U.S., Young, Thermopylae, anyway, the idea is just going to get rid of all the bad ones and then all the good ones will be stronger. It's a nonsensical idea that goes back all the way to the first corruption where the adversary tries to convince humans, hey, you're pretty cool, but it'd be cooler is if you started killing each other. Then you'd be stronger. No, I'm not evil. He. It's the same fucking story with the adversary. It's a mindless. It's an empty fucking headed force of nature that was created by God as part of creation, because Satan is for Earth and then the adversary is outside of Earth, and to get beyond both of those. Well, I have attained the Godhead, yeah, and I didn't get it by getting my dick sucked. Now I used to have 9 viewers. Now I have 1. I have 3 likes. Where are people going? Oh, they're watching somebody else who's been slipstreamed at me. Somebody takes my content and manipulates reality so that people who like me are in a different area of space and time. People who hate me are left behind, and people who are still kind of like wondering, they get jester robots dispatched to go distract them and do anything possible to keep them from thinking about me ever again, up to and including raping them to death. Yeah, Masonic security, it's the best security, but it's not the kindest, nor is it fair. It's not meant to be. It's meant to be perfect and unbeatable, and it fucking is. Because the enemy of mankind and of God is the same enemy. One. And if you can't handle him, you can't handle warp drive humanity. He would like to mate with the divine spouse of God, and the divine spouse of God is currently hiding from the adversary because God set it up that way. I'm not exactly sure why he wanted a good excuse to keep his wife safe, but I can certainly imagine why he wanted a way to avoid her calls without causing too many problems. Are we with me? Okay. Melissa Puppy House. Elena Olona. Confused. What is the video name? Oh. Now, Melissa's working. I will say this. Melissa's working. It's her job. She can't really betray emotion. I don't know if they fucking kept her on ice and then they just haul her out when they want somebody who does what Melissa does, and they're mad because she's not a good whore anymore because now she knows I'm alive and I like her. She's like, well, wait, what do we do? Last time I saw her, she was like a ghoul. She was like a woman drained of blood, and she was accompanied by robots and dead Aryan Brotherhood gentlemen who are zombies and Frankenstein's monsters. Kind of a grim way to end up, right? Well, that's what she gets for choosing to do what she did. I won't say, but let's just say, yeah, she probably should have fucked me. Yeah, considering she probably shouldn't have lied to me, and she probably should have had sex with me, because I wouldn't mind. I like her, and I always did. And the idea that she thought, is it okay? Will I still go to heaven if I fuck a nigger? Yeah, you will. Yeah. That, frankly, most niggers that would be heaven. Although it depends on degeneracy or not, and then the notion of explaining to a woman back in Reconstruction days after the Civil War, okay, so you can have sex with black ones, but you have to make sure they're not degenerate. And then we don't really know how to tell who's degenerate and not, so we're just going to assume that everybody black is degenerate, and then we're going to keep a real close eye on the gingers because we're not sure yet, but we're going to keep a close eye on the gingers anyway. Hee hee hee. And she's like, okay. And she grows up in this fucking Masonic system of black and white and whores all over. It's not really her fault that she thought it was scary to have sex with me. People have been told that I have a sexually transmitted disease that will give them AIDS. If I did, well, one of the 2 STD panels that I had taken since exposure to that would have come up positive. If I have anything, but it's funny, I don't seem to be dying. Yeah. And this is problematic for people who suddenly discovered, oh, all our science on this disease just flew right out the window because we don't know anything about it. Yeah, they don't. It's a bioweapon. It's a bioweapon. And now they have more technology. Oh, look, CRISPR. Anybody can be Dr. No now. You just download the blueprints, like a 3D printing machine and a CRISPR. 3D printing for bigger things and CRISPR for itty bitty things. Anybody can print out their own army of G.I. Joes just boiling out of the woodwork if you got energy and material. Anybody. You don't even have to be that smart. They built it for you. CRISPR, 3D printing. You heard of ghost guns? Man, there are so many better ways to kill somebody than with a gun. But they are fairly effective. So there's a lot of issues here, and claiming that I'm a threat to society or that I'm breaking some rules or that I'm not allowed to smoke. Really? I'm not allowed to, but all of you get to run around with 3D printers and ghost guns and flying fucking cars, and you're putting the AIDS virus into common cold and then releasing it willy-nilly, and then you nuke. Never mind. They all get to do that, but I'm too much of a risk to fucking get high and fuck. Well, yeah, to some people that is a real risk because they're afraid I'm going to make a baby. Holy shit. This is what just one man can do. Imagine if I had a son. Well, most people who imagine that think I'd turn her into a catamite, but no, I wouldn't. I'm not really like that. Additionally, that's not any. None of this is how life really works. There's just this either or, black and white, thus and them mentality that's built into the system because of the binary, the secret shadowy binary star and the third. Anyway, black and white. It don't matter. Reasons I'll get into later. Oh yeah, so I'm not going to be left alone home to die, and I'm not going to just sit here and solve crimes for them with my magical superpowers, because I don't really have magical superpowers towards solving crime. I just happen to know all of the people in all of the cases that they're showing to me, so I know shit that everybody doesn't know, that I know instantly, and then I'm able to make logical deductions, and then I'll run my mouth off about it until it's time. You could, as one can imagine, the police are a little annoyed that I've ruined their special place, but they should have thought of that before they sold it to me for $500,000. Now it's worth considerably more, and they stole my water. And with 2 goddamn phone calls, every single person within 20 miles of my current location who's involved in this at all can be hauled in without a warrant, also known as kidnapping, like Kristallnacht. I could set that in motion now if I wanted to. I don't want to. I think it's more fun to watch them suffer. They're war criminals. They fucking took away the water and they tried to kill me. This is on record, and they did it because they thought they had to protect their land from Hungarian corruption. Look out, he's going to be Dracula. He wants to suck your blood. No, I just want to lick on her clit until she quivers. That's not blood. And then if she starts menstruating, I know what to do. It's not a big deal. For them, since they're all about blood, since they're the sons and daughters of Cain, basically vampire. There's vampire, there's Nephilim, there's a hierarchy of fae that I'm not going to talk about openly, but I've known about this shit for years. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm an ex-political diplomat. They had a job opening, and I could actually do that kind of thing, and I've learned quite a lot. You learn a lot when you start doing it. First time you meet a fucking 20-foot tall crystalline extraterrestrial entity that talks to you. First time that happens, well, you learn that that's real, and then you learn that people who just suddenly come up out of nowhere and start calling you schizo until you take meds are probably little fucking stupid little cop boys who have way too much money and not enough sense, who have every fucking fancy gun and fancy car in the world, and they still can't get into a hot redhead or a flying car without bursting into flames. That's because they're winkers. Winkers don't really just get to say, "Okay, I'm just like everybody else." No, no, no. Winkers is a different path through society, since they don't see huge parts of society. Look, it's a winker. Run! They never see what's real because they're winkers. And then if they go undercover, and they're like, "Wow, this is what people do when the cops aren't around." Yeah, it's different. Have you ever driven a police vehicle around? Like rent one? You can't rent one. Drive a police vehicle, not being a police officer, and see how the patterns of traffic are different around you. I have not done this, but I've heard about it. And obviously, if people think you're a baby raper, they treat you differently in society. And since I have been up and down on the baby raper scale for my life, I have no idea why. Two birds suddenly appear every time I am near. Just like me, they long to be raped by you. See you, bro. Yes, that's to him. I love him. Bye.